sharing a recipe of a gluten-free bread. I have got psyllium husk. To this I'm adding around 1.5 cup of water and leaving it aside for 10 to 15 minutes so it can get hydrated. The quantity and the ingredient is all mentioned in the description box, so please take a look at it. The video is a bit long. The purpose was to share it as detailed as possible. I've got rolled oats here. I'm going to go ahead and grind this and make it into a fine powder. That is our oats flour. In a mixing bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add the ingredients. The oat flour, the arrowroot flour. You can also substitute this with tapioca flour. Millet flour, I've used little millet flour, giving it a nice mix so that everything is incorporated well. Adding in the yeast, salt, giving it a mix again. I have got liquid jaggery, so I'm using that. If you have jaggery, go ahead and use it. But this step is required because that's how the yeast is going to get activated. Now I'm going to go ahead and add our psyllium husk gel that we made. This is very important. Cannot miss this step out as it is required for binding, as this batter does not have any gluten in it. Here goes the white vinegar. I'm going to go ahead, use a dough hook and the rest of the water, and going to go ahead and make a nice batter. This took anywhere between 8 to 10 minutes. Of the dough looks like this. It's a bit sticky right now, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of oil to the palm of my hand, which will help me in mixing this dough a little more. I'm going to leave this for the first rise in this bowl itself. So covering it with a little bit of more oil so that it does not dry out. And with a wet tea cloth, I'm going to cover this and leave it to rise for anywhere between 1 hour to 1.5 hours. After 1.5 hours, you can see how beautifully it has risen. I'm going to deflate the dough and now put it on a small flat board and try to bring it to a shape. It's very difficult to bring it to a shape. It doesn't behave like the normal bread dough, so don't worry. Try to bring it as close as possible to a ball. I have got a basket, a bread basket, in which I'm going to rise this for the second time. If you do not have one, use a ceramic bowl or something like that, which will just be used for the rising purpose. So I have some muslin cloth which I'm going to put in my bread basket and put it in, and try to press as much as down possible, because then it will take the shape of the pan and the cracks will not be that, it will not look that bad. I've tried to make it as compactable as possible, and I'm going to again cover this with a wet tea cloth and leave this anywhere between 1.5 hours to an hour. So I am very happy with the way the bread has risen. I'm going to take a parchment paper and transfer the bread onto the parchment paper, so it becomes easier for it to be moved into the oven later on. See how beautiful it has taken the shape. It's just amazing. And this is gluten-free. I'm going to score the bread, which will help in releasing the steam when the bread is baking. You can do any pattern you want. I'm going to show my oven. The oven has been heating to 250 degrees for the last 20 minutes. I have set up the pan, and then there is a lower pan in which I'm going to put in some water. Now I've taken the pan out after 20 minutes, which is really hot, and going to transfer the bread onto this pan and into the oven. The pan will be hot, so just be careful. You can use your cast iron skillet, or you can also use the tawa, the cast iron tawa, to do this. So this goes into the oven, and I'm going to pour in water into the lower rack, which will create a steam. And this goes into baking for anywhere between 40 to 60 minutes at the highest temperature in your oven. After 50 minutes, a beautiful country loaf is ready. And this is a little more warm right now, but it looks so beautiful, and the whole house is smelling of bread. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Please hear you can hear the beautiful crackle. And I'm so happy with the way this turned out. Soft. The crumbs are very tiny, and it smells amazing. Beautiful. Gone ahead and made a small slice to show you further how soft it is. It's better to toast this bread when you are giving to your kids. Making into a sandwich is the best thing you can do with this bread.